You knew it was coming, I knew it was coming, and we got a long ways ahead of us with about 4 hours of content to shovel through, and I gotta quickly get this video out before I lose interest in B.F.D.I again.
Please watch my other videos.
So without further ado, let's have a deep dive into B.F.D.I's golden era. After Carrie and Michael's 4-year break where they spent 4 years in college after just finishing a 4-parter, but more than 4 people wanted at least 4 more episodes for their forever desire for more 4. What more can be said about this reintroduction to the series that hasn't already been said? Pushing aside how memorable this episode is, I can repeat word for word the first 12 minutes and 30 seconds of this video off by heart. It also so casually displays how big the scope of the season is going to be. As they constantly switch between different groups and different conversations, it feels like every new and old character gets at least a small amount of screen time or dialogue, but I love how some scenes specify with the new characters, showing how confident they are, except for Fiery Jr. apparently. No love for my boy. But the creators of B.F.D.I must have watched my video with a time machine or something, as the best character of all time saw lightning zap Spongy with enough voltage to kill a roided up horse. Yippee! Anyway, moving past that, the walking singularity bends the knee for Flower and ends up destroying the world and killing all of our contestants. The end. But luckily the show then gets renewed by these little dudes named X and 4. And they are just the cutest. No. They are the cutest separately, okay? And they go on a whole spiel for 20 seconds to tell them to form teams, fight for prize, and that's when our favorite teams get established. Beep, Iance, Free Food, Death Pact, The Losers, Team Ice Cube, Blair, and a better name than that. And what better contest to start us off with than one just as simple as the first? Bring X's long lost baskets. And after a whole 7 minutes and 18 seconds of them somehow stretching out this contest while still making it enjoyable, Iance is up for elimination. So after Pencil luckily gets eliminated, it leaves us with 62 contestants, and with the show averaging around 17 minutes per episode, that would mean we would have about 17 hours of B.F.D.I content. God damn! I guess we have to continue watching to find out how they counteract this issue, unless they just decide to go for fucking 70 episodes. But as for now, this early episode of BFB really gave me a weird feeling for the future of BFDI, because characters like Leafy have just been weirdly adjusted back into the contest. And it's shocking how many of my issues with BFDI in whole stem from Leafy, but it's always more of an issue with how things are around her, as it makes sense she just wants to suck the dick of all the other contestants constantly, saying how great everyone is. But when she becomes controlling, a lot of the contestants just kind of go along with it, that like they have no free will in the situation. It's a confusing detail and only gets more and more confusing if we don't move on. So I just want to bring our attention to the early season's interesting style, as it's much more loose and rough than previous season's animation packs. You can tell how the limbs, eyes, and mouths are manually animated, which is a style that would later become more yesified, but I enjoyed observing it while they were still figuring out how to work with the style effectively. Shit, I need to talk about the actual episode. They licked Jawbreakers and a team got put up for elimination probably. Okay, bye. We begin with several casualties due to the 1346 Black Plague epidemic, which in turn makes the rest of the episode about blowing away the germ particles by using a swing. Of course, that's not what actually happened, but it's far more interesting than what we actually got out of this episode. Although it does do a good job at foreshadowing Fort's destructive actions, showing how little of a shit he gives about his actions towards the contestants. But it's also a really nice character building episode, as they allow time to the new characters to form more relationships with one another. But we finally have a dumb as hell writing decision that isn't about Leafy for once. This time it's about Taco and Blair. As Team Beep weren't able to break her out of the Jawbreaker last episode, Taco's team worries that she's abandoned them. And now, that plot point is interesting and good. But then when she escapes, they're all pissy with her for the next 15 episodes. I mean, of course I kid, but it's a really prophetic storyline and like, come on, you're stabbing my ovaries here, Carrie! This episode does truly show how you don't need thrills to make a feast for the eyes, as it's by far the most impressive looking so far. I mean, look at that stylization! And also, I don't think I've mentioned yet how much I love this show's humor. I mean, for the most part, it doesn't make me laugh, but it's just very, very enjoyable. And the challenge this time around was actually fucking interesting too. With 4 needing his daily ego boost, he asks his contestants to test their artistic passion and paint him like a French alphabetic character, with Teardrop by far having the best rendition. You're too good for this world. So this episode made me realize how many odd pacing and music choices this show has, as just the opening and elimination take up half of the episode, which is an interesting choice by Michael and Carey. As for the music though, it feels almost surreal in some cases. I mean, the OST fucking slaps, don't get me wrong, but it almost gives off a feeling of creepy eeriness. But later on they do go more techno than anything else, and typically just like the last two episodes, 4 is getting more and more tense with his abusing and using, and his hunger for power became known to more and more people. The demand to do something about this outrageous man became louder and louder. And as we'll see in the next episode, something was finally done because 4 has got to go. I'm impressed. We've only gone through a B.F.D.I length of the season and 4 has already won Golden Chainsaw for the coolest kill several times. And so Team A Better Name Than That hatch a literal mathematical plan to remove 4 from the show. And so while he's distracted, probably about to fucking murder someone like usual, they sled through the Patreon supporters, and in one fell and pretty silly twist, 4 was times by Donut, leaving Donut with the cosmos destroying powers and 4 nowhere to be seen. Which Donut uses for a silly little challenge. Yay! No, but actually this challenge is pretty fun. It basically just works out to whoever is shiny by the end of 3 hours gets their team up for elimination. And after A Better Name Than That and Blair get into a Luna debacle, it ends up being the losers who fittingly lose. So in this episode, they have these little pop-up things that I remember being a big fad in 2018, but it also made me realize how these poppers were a predecessor to the pop-it things you see in every local store of an Among Us crewmate. Just a funny detail, but yeah, the actual episode itself, it's pretty alright. Not too memorable, but I appreciate this moment of animation when Robot Flower is trying to control Remote, who in of herself I love too, because it's just such a fun idea having her voice be text-to-speech. But the true star of this episode is Donut, as I think it was such an odd choice to have, at the time, an extremely random contestant be the host for a few episodes. But I think the voice actor for Donut, as well as the co-creator of the show, did really well, and honestly, I was really impressed by the fact they were the same person, because the co-creator of the show also voices 4. Look at all these objects that Carey and Michael voice, they sound completely different. Just amazing job. Incredibly impressive. A character I couldn't care less about was eliminated and passed toxic fumes into my dear boy soul! Oh my god. And Donut continues on with his charade of being a good host, and he hosts a quiz show with extremely outrageous bullshit questions like Ooba wooba grooba schmooba? Huh? Frooba drooba! Bitch, I might as well just Except for that, there's not too much to say on this episode, although it is sadly the last episode Donut fully hosts. Bye-bye! A solid episode. Also, I think Fries has got a little tumor or something. I don't know. It's probably not important. B.F.D.I actually turns out to be the shortest episode of the entire season at a painstaking 7 minutes of content. And those tumors I was certain Fries had were actually my boy X. He's returned graciously and in a hosting mood as he takes the mantle like such a brave boy. Oh, I'm so proud of him. Despite his fuck up with the votes, a character that I never really grew too fond of gets eliminated, but instead of being sucked into 4 or trapped into a giant jawbreaker or crushed by the moon, Stapy gets to just kinda hang out. And while X did do a good job at hosting, it's clear the show is falling apart without 4. After a brief elimination, Match realizes that without 4, all their dead friends are just gone forever. And while, yeah, Donut is infused with the omnipotent power of 4, when he tried to recover someone, they turned out as a mangled corpse. And to make it worse, 4 was the one who had the prize, so everyone was kind of desperate to bring back 4! And with the important plot detail of Pin being an amazing cook, she lays out some 4 frosting and Mr. 2 Squared is back. And he seems to have had an epiphany of sorts as well, because he's not constantly murdering people anymore. Yippee! For the most part. And with 4 back, our dead contestants are back too, with the most relevant one being Bubble, as she's finally telling Match to fuck off, but sadly she can't do the same with Pencil because we're finally gonna get to see where all these eliminated contestants are going to. And that place is called the Exit, or Eternal Algebra Class with 4. And I'm in love with the 3D style they went with here. It makes her such an interesting reveal and a beautiful set piece as well. Since there was no actual contest, the twist of this episode is that one of the poor exiters gets to return to the battle for B.F.D.I. based on the viewers' votes. God, I hope Leafy wins. Please give her a second chance at being an at least okay character.
Please!
After an intense round of shitty math results, Leafy joins back and oh my god, thank you for giving this character another chance, thank you. I'm overjoyed that her legacy hopefully won't remain as the shitty controlling person she was in the few episodes. I also think the photorealistic cake was pretty cool. It definitely didn't have any semi-permanent effects or anything. But now with Fallback, things are in full swing again, with the 10th contest going off without a hitch because of Flower's aggressive playstyle. She puts her team up for elimination. Or should I say she's doomed match to the exit as Bubble has turned the audience favor against her. But really good episode and fun contest. Haha, funny Among Us, sus imposter, haha, funny, haha, funny Among Us imposter. But nah, I'm actually really proud of the B.F.D.I team for this one because it came out a whole year or so before Among Us was even a big thing, so we can be joyous knowing it was just a happy little accident. But a little side rant about this season specifically, I love how some things alter how characters look for a while. Like Team Beat being orange because of the elimination prize, or Woody having a dent in him because of Belle. It gives a really smooth feeling of continuity, and not to mention how the hand-drawn aspects of 4 and X are extremely charming. Although they did revert to a more pattern style of animation later on. Fuck, I can't complain, it looks so much better than whatever the fuck they were doing in the first season. But ignoring the obvious, it was a really fun concept as it allowed for us to see the characters' relationships more within the challenges themselves, as they had to find the impersonator on their team, some obvious, some devilishly hidden. And not to mention Carrie and Michael's skills with writing natural dialogue. God, the opening scene feels like we just hacked into someone's security camera and they're just having a regular ass conversation with each other.
That'll pass.
That's what I'm saying. Google, show me this guy's balls.
But when really it's just the same dude talking to himself in different voices, they're all the same voice actor. In fact, all the episodes so far have had extremely smooth dialogue. It's just a really underappreciated part of BFB. Okay, now this is prime BFB. The next few episodes are without a doubt some of my favorite of the entire series, with one of them being my favorite episode of B.F.D.I in general, as Book's gross abandonment tantrums reach an all-new height of annoy, as she has a whole breakdown in front of her team, and she doesn't even compliment Sol's lovely new handle, like fuck you. But anyway, Fiery Jr. gets eliminated. To be honest, he's only ever had one contribution to the show, and it was this fantastic line.
Marker, you know, I'm not too sure about this, but I think maybe there's just a chance that you're an idiot.
And well, as for the contest itself, I'm not really sure, actually. I think it's, maybe the... Oh, I think it was the... Yep, and they all have to find his treasure first. And so everyone's off digging down or just kind of sitting around. And this episode begins a 3-episode arc. Kinda. Look, you'll see what I mean. Also, Book finally realized how much of a dick he's being, so I'm overjoyed. This one picks up right where BFB 13 left off, with Team Ice Cube finding yet another really cool fiction idea of an inverted planet. When suddenly Spongy's fat ass causes issues for literally everyone all the time again, and a volcano erupts inside the inverted planet and its lava spills throughout the tunnels, leaving one team to dig into Golf Ball's factory. And now I'm really curious about this because there's a garbage chute in Golf Ball's factory that leads to the waterfall, which first off looks beautiful, and second off, how the fuck did Woody end up in 4's eyeball? What the fuck is this motherfucker's anatomy? Like, why are these two spots connected? And for the love of God, please tell me Saul's okay. So yeah, this is just the best episode, and I'm not saying that in terms of my opinion, this is just simply the best episode of the entire series. And I was originally planning on talking about my issues with the episode first before I discussed how amazing everything else is, but I genuinely can't find a single thing that I don't like about this episode. It's all on point. The humor, the acting, the writing. Hell, even the challenge is fun and takes advantage of the new lava-ridden land. And the world and the people who inhabit it have never looked better, with the style also being pumped full of performance enhancers as we get these cool new sick-ass graphics. And you can't forget character drama. Woo! The only single complaint I have about this episode is that it's only 15 minutes long. And 15 minutes is an amazing time for an animated series. But all in all, I really don't think it can get better from here, so let's see if episode 16 can beat this 3-part final. Nah, I'm not even gonna cover this generic boring episode. What is it? I'm trying to record something. What?
Watch the goddamn episode!
Why should I, huh? And nothing's gonna be better than BFB 15, okay?
Come here, boy!
This episode changes everything. And by everything, I mean everything. But we'll get into that. As we begin with the Exiters trying to figure out a way out and Spongy being eliminated? Woo! Fuck yeah, you little shit.
Get what you fucking deserve!
What do you mean he didn't get eliminated? But why? I just don't get it. This motherfucker escaped the exit unquestioned. And so did Loser. What? God damn, there better be a wholly good reason for this. What the fuck? Let me grab my goddamn glasses. Hold on.
Hi everyone, are you tired of battling for a dumb prize?
Oh god, why is he British? Yes, it's 2, another algebrailian, and Carrie and Michael's solution to the 17 hours of B.F.D.I. as 2 steals 40 of forced contestants. Damn, you really gonna let him do this shit to you? My poor boy, he even got your ex. But with that being said, the new competition begins, and 4, along with the other remaining contestants in BFB, get teleported to a distant land. Thank y'all so much for watching. For the sake of getting this out to all of you and getting you hyped up, I've split Season 4 into 2 separate parts that the community call pre-split and post-split. But while I'm working on the second part, why not subscribe and join my Discord server? I also stream every Wednesday, Saturday, and Sunday on twitch.tv/testeddsf. You should come visit. I'll also be posting an iceberg video very soon, so keep an eye out for that. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you all in a... Holy shit, is that Power Wash Simulator?